What is up, guys? It's Williams, aka TheSwolefessor, head being. Welcome to episode 7 of a Decade of Craft, my prep series for the SPDOS meet, where the goal is to come in, PR my total, so that I can say that I PR my total for all 10 years of my powerlifting career. It is, what's the day? Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Week 1 of the final block of prep, secondary squat. Yeah, secondary squat, secondary deadlift, tertiary bench, and I'm tired. Like, y'all see everyone talking about the whole, hey, do it tired. As cliche as that is, that's what I've been having to do this entire week. Really, like this entire week 1, just because Thursday and Friday, Marcel was not sleeping super well. And even though Amber does what she can to sleep as much as she can during the day when I'm with him, sometimes she has nights where she feels more overwhelmed. So whenever that's happening, I'm still doing my best to make sure I can be with him at night as well, so she can get a little bit more rest and sleep. So that's been happening pretty much since Thursday. So I've been very tired like this entire week 1 so far. And obviously week 1s are already very tiring just because of the general amount of fatigue that's there. But that being said, things are still moving well. I'll probably have it pop up on screen, but I took 205 kg for my top set of squats, for my squat single on my primary day, on SPD day. Took 155 kg for the 2 singles on bench, which is the heaviest start point I think I've had. And that moved very, very well. And then we did 225 kg for the deadlift. And honestly, that also moved well. So it's like, even though I'm tired, I'm trying to pretty much not get in my head about it. Like, don't get in my head about how things are feeling, because I know that it's just, hey, it's week 1 fatigue, coming off the last block, plus just a lack of sleep. Like, it's so easy to get so caught up in just the way things are feeling in the moment. I think we as powerlifters actually suck at that. Like, we can have a great session, a great block, a great several blocks, and we have 1 or 2 sessions that feel off, and we know why it feels off, and we start catastrophizing in our head and all that kind of stuff. And obviously that just doesn't do anything for anybody. So that's what I'm gonna not do. I'm just gonna focus on moving, executing, paying attention to how things are looking, not just how they're feeling, and just trust myself. So, And don't worry, guys, the mic'd up sessions are not going to be a consistent thing. It's not really my thing. It's just kind of what's needed right now, so I can record this video for y'all. That is, unless y'all like this style. If y'all like this style, I'll do it more. All right, let's see. What do I have? Priming single today is with 180 kg, so that'll be cool. What I am gonna do is I just took 2 reps. So I'm gonna take 170 next. I usually, would just jump right to the 180, but once again, I know I'm tired. I know how things are feeling. So taking 170 just to, really see how things feel, get a groove for it. And then I'll take the 180 after. I think another reason why I'm so tired is, as you guys know from a few videos ago, I'm trying to train early in the day, but just due to the way the workflow has been, with calls, block writing, some extra projects me and the Powerlifting Now crew doing in the background, and then just Amber kind of needing me more early in the day, since her nights have been a little bit rougher, I just ended up having to train later, which, is obviously gonna have me being a little bit more tired, but at this point, I feel like I'm kind of used to it. Whether I'm training in the morning or training later in the day, it's kind of whatever. too bad. Not too bad. I will say the good news is, compared to a week 1 secondary, how they typically feel, I actually feel better than usual, but that's not surprising. I told you guys last video that we're making a few adjustments now to let the top end show up better. So essentially what we're doing is, you guys know on my primary day it would be a single, a heavier set of 4, and then 3 sets of 4 afterwards. So 4x4 in total. Now, for this final block, we're back to the single, and then just 3 sets of 5. That are around the same load that the lighter 3 sets of 4 would be after the heavier set of 4, but basically we've done that to build the capacity up. Now we're gonna kind of pace the back downs a little bit easier, a little bit less aggressive, right? Even though it's about the same total reps, you know, 3x5, 15 reps compared to 4x4, 16 reps. And what that's gonna let us do is see this top end shine through a little bit more. And to kind of compensate for it, we're just gonna start pushing the timing singles here on the secondary day, just a touch heavier. Like obviously this isn't very heavy, but you guys will see as we get closer to the meet, it'll ramp up more aggressively than what it typically does. The same thing with my high bar top set on my tertiary day. All right, first back down with the 157.5 kg moved well. I'm gonna definitely be using my camera to time myself for my rest. Because y'all know I can't afford to be in here yapping right now. But back downs felt really, really good. Shout out Joe Borenstein. And this is why I tell you guys that, not just in powerlifting, but anything in life, I don't care how good you get at something, how long you've been doing it, how experienced you are, what your success looks like, if you're at the top of the field or whatever. Always be a student of the game. Always be open to knowing that you can and will learn from others, even those who maybe haven't been doing something as long as you, or maybe aren't as experienced in you in some aspects, but maybe they've tried different things in other aspects. Because this wasn't even like through talking to him directly. This was just from watching his prep series for Sheffield. And there's 2 things I picked up on that were just, one, just something that I'm like, oh yeah, I need to try that. And the other thing was just a good reminder for myself. So the first thing that was like just a good reminder for myself was just my grip width on the bar when it comes to squat. It's like, I know that as I've gained weight and as I've gotten wider, I feel best with a wider grip on squat. Like when my pinkies are pretty much like right next to the rings, like just barely inside the ring, right? That's when I feel best. The weight feels good on my back. I feel very stable. My control, my depth, my positioning in the hole just feels really, really good. When it comes to just habit though, sometimes I'll notice that I'll let my grip ease back inside, closer. Quite mainly just because like it's that feeling of like, oh, it feels tight. It feels like it's gonna feel good on my back. But it's not the same thing as just having that wider grip and having it feel truly where it needs to be on my back and be able to get the bar low enough. So he didn't even say anything about this in his prep series. It's just from watching him and realizing, okay, yeah, me and Joe are kind of similar leverage when it comes to the squat. It reminded me like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I do that. So I've been doing that since my primary day and it's felt really, really good. And then as far as the second tip, that's more related to bench. I'll tell you guys about that once we get to bench because it is 2 minutes. Rest time's done. All right, last set. Yeah. I said it earlier, but no, I undoubtedly am feeling better than how I typically would. Which one is due to the slight adjustment of heart rate, but also just because, as it should be, fitness is elevating block to block, right? And this is the final block of the macro, so obviously I should be at my strongest point. And just for reference, so you guys know what I'm talking about as far as the grip. So sometimes out of habit, I'll extend my thumb out like this, and it's right where the knurling meets the smooth. That's where my thumb is, but then I just wrap around. And this is typically about where I have my grip, right? But after watching Joe's video, reminding myself that, hey, some of your best squats since you've gotten heavier have been at this wider grip, I'll still start here to kind of just get a nice grip on the bar, but then I will slide my hand out to be just right next to the ring. All right, guys, we have 110 kg on the bar for 3 sets of 4, 2 count pause, nice and easy. So what I got from Joe's video that was very, very useful for me is simply that he is trying to bench with a more positive shin angle, so having his feet more tucked back behind him. And this is how I used to bench years ago, but the thing is, when I was benching that way, I was not using leg drive. My setup was non-existent. It was pretty much just flat back benching. And when I finally learned how to more appropriately use leg drive and stuff like that, it was to have my feet more in front of me, right? A less positive shin angle. But now that I know how to set up, I know how to get things set with my scapula, how to create leg drive, I was like, you know what? Once again, similar leverage to Joe, let me try and see how it feels. And it feels fantastic. Like, I feel really stable. I still feel like I can drive it the full way I need to, but it just feels more natural, and maintaining my positioning feels really comfortable and easy. So yeah, I'm gonna just probably take off through 1 or 2 sets just so you can see. All right, y'all, bench was good. Felt really good. And it's funny because the whole positive shin angle thing is something I've had other clients do, but it's just different. You know, when you're coaching someone else, you're looking at things very objectively, very analytically. With yourself, you're going to be more subjective naturally, which is why, you know, I say even the best coaches have coaches. Shout out my coach, Brad Puyar, since 2019. I'm excited to see how that feels with heavier loads, especially when I'm on the Sky pad, the softer Helico pad than the ones we have here. Anyway, as far as deadlifts, nice easy little 3x3, 192.5. Super positive. All right, guys, back at the crib. Didn't take you guys with the accessory work just because I was like, yo, let me start moving a little bit quicker. Let me get through this so I can be intentional, get home, and that way I can, let Amber have a break. So as soon as I'm done with this recording, I'm gonna go be with Marcel and Laura so she can have a break before we eat dinner. But everything moved really, really well. Everything felt really, really good considering how tired I was. Once again, because I don't catastrophize things. I know I'm tired. I expect to feel tired. I know my circumstances. I trust the programming as far as knowing that Brad knows my circumstances and takes that into account with the workload, the volume, the pacing, all of that. And then I just come in with intentionality, right? Like that's the thing. You can't always control every single variable. You just can't. Life happens. Things pop up. And you can't even always control how much absolute effort you're able to give, right? Like if you're on low sleep and low food, the absolute effort you're able to give is going to be lower than what it would be otherwise, right? But you can always control your intentionality. You can always control your relative effort that you're putting forth, right? So that's something I'm very big on is be intentional. Come in and be like, hey, I'm going to move this weight as if though I'm feeling good, meaning I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't feel good, so I'm just going to rush through it or be passive. Nope, I'm going to be intentional with my squats, my bench, my deadlift, be intentional with my accessory workload. I'm not going to just be like, oh, I'm not feeling good, so I'm not going to progress low from last week. Nope, if I'm able to, I'm going to do so. Hitting those target RPs, like that is so vitally important to do. And it's one of these things where it's like you just got to be grateful for even being in a position to complain about stuff like that, right? Like it's so easy to take something that is actually a blessing and somehow make it a bad thing. Like me being tired is a result of having a full roster, right, and having a lot of work to do, having a second business for Powerlifting Now and the different things we're doing to expand upon that, having a family that I get to love and take care of, which obviously takes time and energy. Like it's all a good thing. Like even when I'm up late at night, I was talking about this on a podcast actually. I'm up late at night and I'm with Marcel trying to calm him down. I'm thanking God. I'm really like, Lord, thank you, because even though, yeah, I'm tired and maybe I wish you would go to sleep right now, it's this thing where there are people who have miscarried or they've been trying to have kids for years and they aren't able to, right? There's people who unfortunately won't be able to experience this blessing that I currently have. So I'm not going to sit there and complain about it. And not there's anything wrong with venting when you're tired, but it's like there's a proper way to go about it. You know what I mean? It's okay, but yeah, I'm feeling kind of worn down, but all glory to God that I'm able to be in the position that I'm in, right? That's kind of how I try to look at it. And the fact that there's always somebody that has it just as hard as you, if not harder, right? Like I have clients that have kids. Like my client Megan has 5 kids. Granted, they're older, but she's got a lot of stuff she's doing as far as that. Jamar has a daughter. Wasker has kids. I have a client named Michael, not Michael C, different Michael, Michael N, has kids. Like it goes on and on, right? And it's one of these things where we understand those circumstances. We understand it's part of what we have to account for, but it's never like a bad thing. I wouldn't trade it for anything, bro. I would quit powerlifting easily before I give up the amazing life that I have and all these other aspects in regard. So that's the main thing. And honestly, that's a big thing that I got from my 7th year of powerlifting. Like going from 2021 to 2022, it went from, as we talked about last episode, PRing every block for the entire year of 2021 to 2022 was that first year of what was really like a 2-year stall. I still PR'd the total on the platform in 2022 and in 2023, but as far as hitting bigger numbers in training, like PRing my absolute strength in training, it wasn't going down. The PRs on the platform were just from putting the right numbers together. Just because it was a lot to adjust to. My roster increased again in 2022. Alora was born, and Amber and I were new parents. We weren't used to everything. It was a lot of figuring stuff out, a lot of transition. Even compared to now, even though I'm busier now with Marcel being born than what I was back then, we're just better equipped to handle it because we've gone through it before. So it was one of those things where it was really easy to feel overwhelmed. It was really easy to get caught up in the idea of, oh, well, I can be a little more passive with this when it comes to training or whatever, because, hey, I got to make sure I'm focused on things that matter, like my family, my wife, my daughter, the coaching, the content, right? And it's easy to kind of have that thought, but it's just like, no, 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 no. Even though my variables aren't going to be as consistent, even though I'm not hitting these big numbers in training, if I ever want to get back to that, I need to be intentional, right? Be grateful for the hand that I've been dealt, play to the best of my ability, and as always, when I feel like God, you're giving me more than I can handle, just remembering that's the point. Like when people say like, oh, God will give you more than you can handle, that's cap. That's cap. God will definitely give you more than you can handle, so you can remember that in your weakness, he is strong, and to lean on him and rely on him. So that's what I do. And it just, in that entire year, it was just about being intentional. Like, hey, you're not hitting the numbers that you want right now, but that's okay. Still be intentional with your top sets, your back down, your accessory work, all of it. And that goes just with life. With anything, like be intentional, man. Like when you're spending time with your loved ones, don't be passive with it. Don't be just sitting there scrolling your phone. Be intentional. You know what I mean? Like when you're outside going on a walk, enjoy it. Enjoy the sun, enjoy the sky, the breeze, depending on where you live, I guess, right? But it's like that, being intentional also just means being present. I think that's a big part of it. Being present with what's right in front of you, right then and there. Not worrying about what happened yesterday, not being over concerned with tomorrow, but it's like focusing on the present, right? Like I love the saying of learn from your past, focus on your present, and you can have a better future, right? Because tomorrow's not promised. You may not even see tomorrow. So being present, intentional with everything you've got going on right in the here and now is huge. And that was something that I definitely learned and relearned and was reinforced in my 7th year of powerlifting, because it had to be just due to everything that was going on, right? It's like when you have so much going on, it's easy to feel all over the place, but being intentional was huge for me, not just with my training, but hey, being intentional with those moments with my daughter, being intentional to have those quiet moments with Amber. It made all the difference in the world. And because of that, I was able to continue to push forward and to eventually get some of that momentum back that's led us, to the point that we're at here today, where it's like, all right, cool. Because I did that, I was able to PR the total in 2022. I was able to PR the total in 2023, right? And then, of course, by 2024 is when things started picking back up in general, even in training. But yeah, that's pretty much what I learned in my 7th year of powerlifting. That's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go leave a comment down below. Let me know what you did. If not, leave a comment down below. Let me know what I can get better. Like the video, share, subscribe. Keep it simple, specific, scientific. I'll catch you guys later.